Long for the ride. Hi Cancer, this is Seth from Comingouttarot. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you haven't been here before, welcome. This is a reading for Cancer for the full moon for October 2018. The effort here is to give you some understanding on what your obstacles might be, what you can do to overcome those obstacles, and how can you be more mindful during the course of this full moon. I'm going to pull these up here in just 1 second. We're almost done shuffling. Make sure that they're all in the right spot. Just going to ensure that they fall into the right order for a message for Cancer. All right, here we go, Cancer. This is gonna be fun. All right, Cancer. Obstacle right now is the Empress. This card is my I Am Every Woman card. Whitney Houston, not Chaka Khan. This is how we're gonna overcome that obstacle, Cancer. This is the 6 of Stones, and this is what you can be more mindful about. This is the 7 of Cups. All right. First, overarchingly, Cancer, interesting. Things are probably going to be it's going to be a time where you're going to need to focus on your health, Cancer. What's interesting to me is that your health, though, is in a positive space. It's in a good space. So I think what's going to happen is that during this full moon, you're going to feel better than you have in a long time. That's kind of nice, right? For some people, the full moon tends to bring on these emotional swings, and especially for Cancer, it can be a really challenging time. But I'm going to bring something else back up that you're going to want to pay attention to around mindfulness. However, in general, this is physically, you're going to be feeling pretty awesome during this time. That feels good, because my guess is you haven't felt that way in a while. So you're gonna be a lot more grounded than you have been. You're going to be in a space of creativity. However, I think what is going to be the biggest challenge for you when we get to your obstacle as the Empress is feeling like you have everything you need to give to those that you love and care about the most. When you don't feel like you have enough to hand out, when you don't feel like you have enough to give to other people, I think that can be anxiety producing for Cancer, because Cancer always has something, to me, Cancer always has something to give. They're always emotionally available, they're always emotionally ready. They may have to think about some stuff for a while and process it, but being emotionally available and ready is part of what Cancers do. So the fact that you don't feel like you have enough to give right now isn't part of your physical health, and that's going fine, like I was saying, but your emotional state is, I feel like I don't have enough love to give to the people that are surrounding me. And I think this is a recurring theme sometimes, Cancers, when you go through this dip. Normally you're pretty cool and you've got that emotional boundary and you're able to give what you can give, but right now it's been sucked a little dry, and it needs some replenishing. There's ways to do that. So how can you overcome? How can you move? Meet this challenge head on. This is the 6 of Stones. I would challenge you to think about actually the recent past. This is kind of interesting. When these stones will move for me, and sometimes they move forward and sometimes they move back. Right now they're moving counterclockwise, so they're moving backwards. Whenever they move backwards, they're going into this past space and kind of coming forward instead of coming towards me instead of going away. Which means there's something that needs to be reviewed. There is a piece of your past that needs to be reviewed in order to handle and deal with the fact that you feel like you don't have enough love to give right now. In fact, I would challenge you to think about what you did to protect yourself in the recent past, because that's probably how the emotional state shut down. My guess is you shut down your emotions, and that's why it feels like you don't have enough to give, because you've capped them, you stamp them down, and when they're not constantly flowing, they're going to find somewhere else to go, or it's just going that tributary is just going to stop. And by going somewhere else, I mean it just stops flowing in the natural way that it's meant to go. So your emotional state feels stunted. So recent past, I would challenge you to review that. There's a big penguin, or not penguin. I can't believe I said penguin. Hey guys, there's a big flamingo here, but it's blue. So the flamingo is not eating. It's not getting what it needs. So it needs to eat this certain kind of algae and shrimp to maintain. It's not trying to maintain its color, but that's what turns it pink. It's kind of a grayish blue if it's not eating this algae and this. Jason, were you and I talking about this? If it's not eating this algae or the shrimp. So in the recent past, if you weren't getting the emotional, this is going to sound cheesy for a second, the emotional food that you needed to keep your emotional state at the level at which it needed to be in order to be able to feel like you could give others the love and care that they needed, that's the thing that happened in the recent past. You totally get this. You weren't connecting and receiving from others around you what you needed to make sure your love meter was at full. All right. Let's talk about how you can be more mindful during this time. During this time, Cancer. So, more mindful during this time. This is the 7 of Cups. I would ask you to think about, what does it feel like when someone lies to you? It sounds pretty heavy. It is, because I think that during this full moon is a time for you to practice recognizing how it feels when someone lies to you, so that that meter exists for you in the future. Because of this thing that happened in the recent past, that's you missed it there. You didn't have that tool set in order to help you be successful at the time, which is why your emotional meter is low, the love meter is low, and you're not feeling like you can give what you need to give, because you were burned, you were hurt. So let's work on that lie detector, so that you don't have to worry about that in the future, or at least you're armed with what you need to be armed with so you can get past it. The other, is there anything else here? Yeah, that's the biggest thing. So we're just going to practice on your lie detector. So this can be through meditation, it can be through ritual, it can be through working with friends who you ask to help you practice. I wouldn't practice with the person that you know already lied to you, but you could also sit and reflect on that. Think about what occurred during that time. Do your own little lessons learned, right? This is how I approached the situation. This is what happened. This is a result of what happened. What could I have recognized that I didn't recognize then? what can I do about it in the future now that I know how I reacted and how I would like to react, if I'm able to recognize that in the future, so that you've learned what those characteristics are, how you'd like to be responsive, and what you can do in the future. So this mindfulness can actually wield a lot of information for you. All right, Cancer, I hope this is helpful. If it is, please subscribe if you haven't already so we can keep track of each other. I'd also love it if you could give me a thumbs up on this if it's helpful for you. And as the full moon comes towards the 24th and we hit the full moon and just a little beyond, I'd love to hear about how this has been impactful for you, or if you're experiencing this, or something else is happening for you. Let me know in the comments below. Thanks, Cancer. See you later.